Welcome back to the Filmoholic Awards here on our channel. We are talking today about original screenplay and adapted screenplay and what we think should have been nominated and our winners. Now, each year we're going to be doing this. This is our second year, like I said, and we give 5 nominees like the Oscars, and we choose a winner. So the first category we're going to be talking about is Best Original Screenplay. The nominees for Best Original Screenplay are Uncle Frank, Malcolm and Marie, The Trial of Chicago 7, Palm Springs, and Promising Young Woman. Do you have any thoughts on this category?
Pretty solid. Yeah.
You know what really bugs me is that, Malcolm and Marie, I love this movie. It's not a 2020 movie, though. It is a 2021 film. So like that's something that's kind of bugged me when I'm like been doing these lists and putting everything together, because when I look at the Oscars, I look at the year before. I look at the like 2020 or whatever, and the way that everything. And I know, I mean, we could have not counted it this year, but we're gonna count. We're gonna count our stuff like the Oscars, essentially.
They had a very wide push date.
Yeah, they pushed it to, I think it was March 1st.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what it usually is.
I thought it was like
I think it's the
in January. I thought.
Yeah, like it has to be at least in like one or two theaters the year before. So yeah, I mean we have all these screenplays are solid. There's a couple that, oh yeah, I mean they're really good. Would they normally be in there for me? Probably not. But yeah, I mean it's a solid category. It's one of the most best categories of the award season.
Yeah, I was fine with all these adapted and original. I think.
Would you want to announce the winner for original screenplay?
The winner for original, which was snubbed by the Academy completely, was Malcolm and Marie.
Yes. Now, that's why I was talking about that. It's a 4-star film for me right now. It'll probably move up to 4.5 if I rewatch it. I'm not sure, but I did love so much about this film, from the performances to the screenplay, the directing, the cinematography. It was like a beautiful film to look at, and just I think me and you both like love dialogue driven films, stories, and this is definitely one of them. You got two characters the whole movie, in one house, and I know you really like that in like one location, which
Yeah.
it more worked for me in this because it's a whole house and they can move into different rooms, so they can move outside, but it's all in this house because it was filmed during COVID, versus just filming in one room. I mean, sometimes with that I'm like, there's so many shots you can do in here, and there's like it gets visually boring if you do that. But with the way they presented it, it was so stylistic and just a beautiful film. But the screenplay, just what it was handling, the relationship between these two characters, dialogue driven, focusing on somebody who is had went through addiction and stuff, and she was into acting, and then also a filmmaker, so that's also connects on another level, because we're also into film and everything. So yeah, definitely resonated with me.
Yeah, I loved all the dialogue. Some of it was too real, but it was something I wanted to watch, and you kept telling me like, oh, "Watch the movie, man. Just keep watching." So glad I did.
All right, what's the next category here?
Adapted screenplay. Like you said, 5 nominees. We've got Another Round, which is a foreign language. You got Nomadland, Unpregnant, Pieces of a Woman, and One Night in Miami.
So what I'll say about this is a lot of, or at least I know some of these got snubbed at the actual Oscars, but I'm glad that they're in our nominations. Unpregnant, It should be not. It should be have been nominated at the Oscars for Adapted. It was a really good screenplay, especially for this category. We see this every year in award season where coming of age films are snubbed. Um, and honestly, there wasn't a lot of push from HBO. There wasn't a lot of push in general for this movie. I don't think I didn't really see a lot of people talking about it. But it was strong. The directing, like everything about this film was pretty strong. This is the only thing we have it nominated for, I believe. But performance is really good. Haley Lou Richardson, she's been a standout for the past couple years. But that was a good one. Another round is a screenplay. I love the story in that. And while I gave it a 3.5 of the film overall, it's like the more I keep thinking about that film, it's one of the ones that I've just kept thinking about. It stayed with me, so I'm gonna have to rewatch that one. But yeah, I mean, Pieces of a Woman. That's just like an emotionally strong story. I know Nomadland. You're more passionate about that one.
I'm the only reason it made it on here. Because that was not as much the screenplay as the story. I know you were just like, screenplay sucks. I'm done with it. But yeah, like Unpregnant, I remember watching that like the day it came out on HBO because I follow her on Instagram, and she kept promoting it. And I was like, oh man, that's tomorrow. Like, I guess I'll watch that. Loved it. It's one I need to revisit too to see if it moves up any. Then I just watched Piece of a Woman. I got to watch another round. You keep telling me to.
Yeah.
Just not mentally in the mood to watch a foreign language film and read the subtitles right now. But.
And with Unpregnant too, it's one of those coming of age films. It's not, just another PG-13 or whatever pushed out for anybody to watch. It's I don't even know what the rating for this is. It could be PG-13. It might be, but it's real and raw, and like it's what a coming of age film should be. It's not censored. If it is PG-13, it just happens to be PG-13.
Yeah.
And this is like
real issues.
Yeah. It's where they excel. And then One Night in Miami is, well, go ahead. I'm the announcer on this one. One Night in Miami is the winner for Best Adapted Screenplay for the Filmoholic Awards. Obviously, this is based off real people, putting them in this situation. The conversation.
Kind of play works for me.
Yeah. And that like kind of works for me sometimes and kind of doesn't a lot. The plays. But with this, I liked because it was in that room for the majority of the film, but they did move outside of the room too.
A couple times, yeah.
They moved to the roof. They moved, downstairs and different spots. And you didn't just have 2 people; you had 4 people. Obviously, these were all icons, all very famous people. But you brought it down to an intimate level. And focused on them and their relationship.
I think the play was newer too, so it also connected to like real life events that things haven't changed.
Yeah.
I know I keep rewatching, like not the movie, but like one scene over and over. I have to like fast forward and rewind it fast because the way Amazon Prime sucks, you have to hold the fast forward button. But it's the scene when the Malcolm X character plays the Bob Dylan song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's my favorite scene in the movie, hands down. But I keep rewatching that one.
Yeah, I mean,
because it caught me. It starts out showing them individually in the movie, and it's the Jim Brown character, which I was less familiar with because I don't watch sports. I didn't know he was in The Running Man with Arnold.
Yeah.
Really turned into actor, but it's the opening with him is like what really caught me. He's sitting there having that conversation with that white guy on the porch.
Jeff Bridges' brother.
Yeah. He's sitting there, they're talking, and then I think his daughter's character calls him like, oh, we need help with this and here, and Jeremy's like, oh, go help. And he's like, oh, calls him the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't allow you guys in the house. I'm like, oh, man, you just had this whole conversation about how, oh, you'll support his family the whole time, and just like hit me with that kind of line.
Yeah, brutal.
Caught me off guard completely. I was like, man, this, and then it connects later after that Bob Dylan scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something I need to rewatch. Whenever it comes out, I'll probably end up getting that one actually, even though it's a Prime movie. If it's not out already, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind owning that one out of the ones, because there's not a lot of 2020 films that I personally would like to own, but
Yeah.
that would be a good one. Just that screenplay, the performances, everything about that film is pretty solid. Definitely think it was overlooked.
There's only two categories it was nominated for at the actual Oscars, I think.
Yeah.
Screenplay and supporting actor. It's the only thing. Song, but I mean, I think it was song it was nominated for too. I can't remember. Yeah, because he was Leslie Odom Jr. was snubbed.
But these are two of my biggest categories, I feel like, that I'm most passionate about for the awards is the screenplay. I love the story, I love the dialogue. To me, if a screenplay doesn't work, then the film's probably not going to work. Because you can have these other aspects, you can have good acting, you can have good directing, cinematography, whatever. It might make it a watchable film, but I feel like the screenplay is the most important part for me. It's, the bones of the film.
Great acting with terrible lines.
Yeah, I'm not going to go for them. But that is our screenplay categories. Tomorrow we'll be back with some more technical stuff. We're going to be talking about directing and cinematography. All right, guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next time.